Hey folks, today I've got a couple of Z-scale train sets that I'm testing out. I had got these, actually one of them, this Märklin UP regional set I had got a long time ago. I don't remember, but I'm finally breaking it out and actually putting it on some track. And I've got a bunch of the Rokahan Z-scale track set up today. I think the last video I had that portable setup with the Märklin track. They're both great. I don't really have a preference as far as how they perform and operate. They both seem to work good. I like the Rokahan stuff. So I've got that regional UP train set over there, and then here I've got I've got one of the AZL Big Boys. This is the 4001 Big Boy with a passenger train. The cars are all AZL passenger cars, UP passenger cars that I had got, and we're going to see if we can get this running. The little tunnels that I threw out here, the one over there, I think that's a knock Z-scale tunnel over there, and then I've got two of these N-scale tunnels. That's the only tunnels that the big boy train will go through. It won't go through the little Z-scale tunnels. And I think those are Woodland Scenic, if I remember when I bought those. And they're nice when you just have a portable table or floor type train set that you're playing with. It's nice to have a little bit of color and scenery. So, and I'm using the dual switch controller Rokahan power supply right now. That's this one right here. So let's see if we can get that regional train set going first. We'll hit the switch on that and put her in forward and see if we can get that rolling there, hopefully. Yeah, she's getting stuck on that little curve. That's common because that curve is really a little too tight. Let's see if we can get her going out there. There we go. There we go. So this is an older set from Märklin, this UP regional set. But I like the older train sets too. The old ones are wonderful. The new ones are wonderful. They're all great. We'll speed her up a little bit and get her going. And so the Märklin train set has the Märklin style couplers on it, sometimes called fishhook couplers. And I like those just fine. They perform well, and never had any major issues with those. And so as far as preferences go, probably I like the American knuckle style couplers on most of my trains, but I don't go switching them out just for no reason. When you're running something like this, it's fine to just keep those Märklin couplers on there, and they work great. So we'll get that over here. We'll slow her down, and let's hit that switch over there. And we'll back her up and get her off the track. And hopefully the 282 Mikado doesn't get stuck on that little curve again. It's a little too tight. I should put a little bit bigger turnout over there for that to perform better, but it's fine. So now we'll see if we can get this big boy going. And I do have an SD70 ACE helper on this. The reason for that is that these big boys from AZL, they're really hard to get your hands on. They're very rare, very expensive, and so I just I worry about the the motor on that big boy. Not that I think anything's wrong with it. I just want to make sure that it lasts as long as possible. And so I've got that diesel helper behind it right there to help take any strain. And I did test the big boy, of course. It has no problem. That's a nice heavy brass model, that big boy, and it pulls all those cars, no problem. It's going to be so hard if I did wear that motor out. It'd be so hard to replace it. So we use that diesel helper, and it's kind of like almost like in real life with the 4014 these days, where the 4014 doesn't really need any helpers either, but you almost always see it with at least one diesel helper in the train, and it makes it look pretty cool. Of course, back in the day, in real history, the big boys weren't used to pull passenger trains. They were used for freight trains. So mine is pretty much a fantasy train. I have a whole lot of freight stock for the big boy as well, but I love having it pull those yellow UP passenger cars. It just looks really cool to me. So one of the things that I did with these passenger cars, because these turns that we have here are a little tighter than what's recommended for that AZL big boy. I think it's I'm trying to remember what the recommended radius was. It was like 270 or something. And these, if I recall, are 245. But that is the largest that I could get my hands on right now. The larger radius, I couldn't get my hands on them. So I got some of these, and I got these larger radius curves specifically for running this big boy. So the big boy itself, I haven't done anything with. It's wonderful. One of the things I'll point out is and we've seen questions about this on Google and YouTube and other places, is does the front light work? At the time, AZL did not incorporate LEDs into the front of these locomotives, so they weren't made with lights on the front. They do have the light on the back of the tender, and when it's in reverse, that light will come on. All right, but there is no front headlight on these little big boys. There are some folks out there that have added their own, and that's not a super difficult thing to do, but it is it's a project for these locomotives that are this tiny. So if you have one of these and decide to do that, proceed with caution. And then the SD70 ACE, the only thing I did with that was I put in the optional front bogey on that to allow that to hitch up to the back of the big boy and go around the curves properly. And then what I did on the passenger cars, because they're not crazy about this turn radius either on it, honestly, and so I did trim the little stops on the trucks on those to allow them to have a little bit more turn radius. And if you were to take a close look at the trucks on these, you'll notice that they have these little nubs down in there that are like little stops underneath, and you can just trim them down, and then it allows it to turn into a tighter radius. So that's what we're testing out today. Hope you guys like this kind of stuff. I'm going to back her back in here. Stop that. We'll get that switch. Put her in reverse. And back her back into her siding here. And it does a pretty good job too, backing up. We're not having any derailings or anything with any of the cars. With this Rokahan track, it works nicely. And if you do use this kind of track, one of the things that I do, and for my part, I would recommend it, is you see this little pad right here. That's a lady's makeup pad for removing makeup, I guess, is the way they advertised it. I got that on Amazon. I bought a whole stack. I think you get like, I don't know, I forget if it's like 50 or 100 of them in a stack. And they're not that expensive. And these are just really perfect. You can see how I've been cleaning the track. And they do a great job of cleaning the track. No chemicals, no liquids. I personally don't like using liquids for cleaning my track, honestly. When I do, the only thing I use is isopropyl alcohol. Honestly, I just, the cleaning fluids and stuff, I've found that, for me anyway, they can cause more problems than they cure. So, but that's what we've got today. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a nice rest of your day.